Hi guys, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nakia. I'm the content creator for True Horror Stories POV. So this is the backstory of the episode 6 titled Copycat, and this story it actually is one of my most recent encounters because it happened in the year 2019. Okay, so for this episode, it happened during one of those nights where my husband was out exercising with his group of friends. So that night, when he went out to exercise with his friends, kan, he went out slightly later than usual. So dorang selalunya will exercise macam pukul 8.30 tau. But I think that night, everybody busy with their own work stuff and everything, so it was pushed back. So I think they started exercising only at about 9.30 ke 10. Yeah. And then after that, usually after exercising, my husband akan balik rumah terus. But that night, diorang decided to lepak. So my husband did message lah and minta izin. So called macam telling me macam, sayang ambil lambat sikit dan hari nak lepak je diorang. So I'm fine with it because my husband dia selalu tak nak lepak. He doesn't like to leave me alone at home. But that night I think okay lah, sekali-sekala let him lepak with his friends. So I tell him okay lah sayang, can just lepak. So while I was editing the video, macam mata ngantuk, pakai komputer. So macam very tired eyes and everything. So I decided to nap. Then when I was napping, it's a normal thing for us to tidur kat lantai. And especially for me and actually both of us lah, kita suka tidur kat lantai because like it's straight. I don't know why kita suka lah. So and plus bila kita tidur kat lantai, all my cats usually will come up to us and then cuddle together. So that's why it was a plus point. So dah tengah ngantuk editing semua, I just decided, you know what, I'm going to lelapkan mata, ambil bantal, lipat on the floor. Niatnya nak power nap for about 20 minutes tau. But end up, when I woke up, it was like I think half an hour to 1 hour later. So it was like maybe pukul 12:30 gitu. Almost 1 I think. I think around that time. Terbangun. Then I tak terfikir yang my husband would lepak that long. Cause my husband don't like to leave me alone. So really tak terfikir gitu tau. Then I was like, agaknya my husband dah balik. So I got up and everything, jalan lah nak masuk bilik. When I was walking towards my room, I noticed my cats kan acting very weird. Usually my cats, like I said, suka lepak and selit-selit together with us tau. But this time, dorang semua was tengah berkerumun outside my room door. Habis dorang diam aja, looking at my room door. I didn't think anything of it. I just thought macam, okay lah, maybe dorang macam curious ke, ada binatang ke, ada insect ke apa. So I just thought like that. I thought that okay, nak masuk tak? But dorang semua tak nak masuk. Okay, I do let my cats inside my room lah. So when I went inside the room, I saw my husband dah tengah baring atas katil. So I was like, dia ni apa sih? Orang tunggu dia sampai dah tertidur kat lantai, balik rumah, never even kejut. Then I was like, sampai hati tinggalkan bini kat luar. So I went, pergi kat sebelah dia semua. Then kebetulan my phone tengah low battery, so tengah cari charger and everything. Then when, macam kita tengah buat benda, then kita feel macam like, macam tengah bingit lah, half bingit gitu kan. Then my husband, he have this bad habit of pakai barang tak letak balik tempat dia. So I was like tengah ngomel sendiri lah, macam like, mana sih dia letak charger ni? Apa sih lah, dia pakai tak turun nak simpan balik apa? Dah tengah bingit-bingit. Then I heard ada orang macam cakap kat sini gitu. So it sounds a lot like my husband. So I turn, pusing tengok macam kat mana. Then a bit happy juga tau, macam actually dia tak tidur. At least I know I'm not alone. Sekali pusing tengok kat mana, I didn't see anyone. Tengok kat katil, actually my katil was flat. It was untouched, clean tau. Then I macam panic. But when I turn tu, I nampak ada kelibat crossing my toilet door. Nampak shadow. Then I thought it was my husband pranking me. Even though my husband dia not a prankster, sometimes dia ada mood dia juga tau. He wants to macam kacau-kacau gitulah kan. So dia nampak ada kelibat lalu gitu tau. Then I was like, tak nak fikir bukan-bukan. I was like, sayang, jangan main-main lah. Dah tunggu itu, hati pada ada panik tau. And then mata tengah fokus at that door, kelibat tu lari one more time. That part, I can tell you, is not my husband. And when that thing dia pass by the second time, it was actually much closer to me. It was actually at the table beside my bed, dia lari. and I felt my bulu roma all tengah meremang. Tu part, I know that's not my husband. Firstly, because that thing, dia macam bongkok gitu. Dia macam bent down gitu. I don't know why, the shape is just so weird gitu. The new movement also very awkward lah. So when I saw that, I terus panic and I tried to call my husband. Then when I tried to call my husband kan, my husband didn't pick up. Usually my husband bukan nak defend apa, but my husband will pick up my call. Okay, he's the type of person very responsible. Tapi the only time he won't pick up is when apa tahu, he's on the road when he's riding. He cannot answer the phone. So when I call him, I know he never pick up. Part of me tahu dia tengah naik motor, tengah riding ah. Then I was like, ya Allah, kenapa time-time gini pula kau tak boleh answer phone kan? So I was like, ya Allah, tengah really memohon lah, minta tolong kepada Allah untuk help me. Then tiba-tiba I heard scratches, bunyi scratching. From that part I was like, wait, bunyi scratching ni datang dari mana? Then when I hear scratching tu got louder, makin kuat. Then I realised, scratching tu bawah katil. And my bawah katil is actually very pendek. I cannot slide in. Even my cat nak masuk susah. They have to really bend down, macam really be as flat as they can onto the ground to go under my bed. But I heard the scratching sound under my bed so loud. From pelan jadi kuat tau. Part of me again nak sedapkan hati, I keep thinking, oh maybe it's my cat. So fikir positif lah. I even contemplated nak cuci bawah. So just as dah macam tengah fikir nak tengok bawah katil ke nak lari kat pintu, both dead end. Bawah katil kalau aku tengok, I don't know what I'm gonna see. Keluar, I don't know what's out there waiting for me. Sekali I heard very very clear sound. I heard my husbandnya voice kasih salam. It may not be a full kasih salam, but I heard something like Kom, you know, at least ada Assalamualaikum, I don't know lah, but it was very very clear it was my husband. Because kita bila masuk rumah kan, kita always kasih salam and we let each other know that we are home. So my husband biasa dia akan cakap, Assalamualaikum, B, I dah balik tau. He will always do that. So when this happened, I heard Assalamualaikum gitu. I didn't hear the second part, but I was happy that actually dia dah balik. So I rushed out, buka pintu, tak ada orang. So I was like, ya Allah, dah panik. Tak tahu nak tutup pintu, nak masuk balik ke apa ke, I really don't know what to do. Finally, my senses kicked in. Baru nak slam the door, I saw benda tengah dashing towards me. It wasn't my cat, okay? I terfikir juga, is it my cat ke apa later on, but no. It was taller, it was human size. Not say human size, it was tall. It cannot be a cat. Very kecil kan kucing. So it was like that, it was coming at me, laju. I slam the door. That part dah tak fikir malam, slam pintu bising apa, dah tak fikir apa-apa. Just slam the door and I retreat. I just move back. And as I was retreating tu, I heard ketuk-ketuk pintu. Ketuk pintu. Really macam urgent tau. All I did was, I don't know if, because I didn't lock my door. So kalau I slam the door gitu, orang ketuk-ketuk, if that's really my husband, he can just buka pintu right? But tak, dia benda, he cannot open tau. Tak boleh masuk. So that's how I was thinking, I'm very confident that's not my husband. So all I did was I retreat all the way back to the corner of my room and I just tutup mata and I just keep reciting whatever surah that I know. That point of time belum hafal ayatul kursi. That point of time masih solat masih tinggal-tinggal semua. So my iman level was very low. All I did was cry and then ya Allah tolonglah aku. It was those very very basic thing. Then suddenly the knocking ceased. Then the feel dah calm sikit, dah macam dah tak ada ke. But I know they always give this false hope macam everything coast is clear. So I was like, okay, tak apa. Then I heard a giggle. And that made me turn to the side. And when I turned to the side, I actually nampak ada benda ni tengah sitting in the same position as how I was sitting, and also tengah tengok pintu. Ibarat macam dia pun tengah takut and staring at the door macam gitu, tengah takut. Macam copying me ah. Then when I look at it, then when the thing know that I'm looking at it, they look at me and smile. So that's why I gave this episode the title Copycat, because benda ni have been mimicking lah, tengah copy kita. The first one, dia copy my husband tidur kat atas katil gitu. And then the next one, dia copy my husband's voice because dia cakap Assalamualaikum kan, dia cakap gitu. So the third one is dia copy by when I tengah duduk kat one corner tu, dia pun sama duduk macam nyangkung at one corner, tengah tengok pintu juga. Copy lah, exactly the same. Yeah. Actually, I realised when I was when I was doing this story kan, I realised that my cats lari-lari malam-malam and dorang ada this specific footstep tau, macam kucing tengah lari pap, that sound kan. I realised, fikir-fikir balik even before all these things happen, while I was editing, I already heard that sound, but I block it out because I feel macam, oh, it's just my cat. In denial, I just fikir gitu. So when I was fikir-fikir balik dah lama after this incident happened, I fikir balik, actually dah ada signs that this thing was going to happen because dia dah siang-siang, dia dah lari itu semua. Okay, and that is it for this episode of the backstory. So if you like my content or if you have any questions with regard to this episode, you can just comment down below and inshallah we will reply to you if you have any macam burning questions lah. But aside from that, if you like our content, do subscribe and like this episode. For those who have already subscribed to our channel, mashallah, thank you so much. Really, really, really appreciate it. Alhamdulillah. And yeah, that's about it for this episode. Till next time, inshallah. See you guys again. Bye.